Hello, this is Group 9 in CSI 3140Z, and this is our project uOBites. uOBites is a web application that simulates a food ordering system for the restaurants on UOttawa's campus. The main technologies we use to implement the app are React, TypeScript, Postgres, and Flask. We also utilized Cypress to perform automated testing and GitHub's CodeQL static analysis tool.
We have a login page for uOBites. I don't have an account yet, so I'm going to register. Here's the registration page for uOBites. So let's enter the information. Just enter my name, fill in, enter my last name, email address. So this is the Ottawa Flex card number, or more commonly known as the student number. If student wants to have the option to pay with a student card, they can enter the student number here. So I'll just go ahead and enter the 9-digit student number. Okay, so finally password. Enter the password again. And click on create account. So perfect. So now that I have my credentials, I can go ahead and log in. Name, this is my email address like previously entered. Password. If I forgot my password, I can just click here and enter an email address. And an administrator can contact me in 1 to 3 business days. Submit. Okay. So now we just go ahead and log in. So here is our homepage. You can see all the food outlets. For example, I can check Bento Express. You can check Première Moisson, and so on. So on the top right here, we have our profile information. For example, if I want to change my flex card number, I don't want my flex card to be here anymore, I can just delete it and update profile information, and everything will be updated. So on the top right, we have also the logout button. You can just log out and it's done.
I'm going to demonstrate the ordering process of uOBites. So let's say I want to order something from Starbucks at Desmarais. I'm brought to this page that displays useful information on this food outlet, such as the location and the hours, the opening hours. I can also see their menu, and I have to use the plus and the minus button to add and remove items from the cart. So let's say I want 1 cappuccino, 1 bacon gouda, an egg sandwich, and 2 chocolate brownies. I just use the plus to edit my cart, and then I can view the cart by clicking this button, and then I can see all the items that are in my cart right now. If I'm not satisfied with my order, I can close this pop-up and continue modifying the cart. So let's say I add a croissant. I add it, and if I view the cart again, I can see that it was added here. So then when I'm satisfied with my order, I can proceed to the checkout. And there's 2 ways to make a payment. There's the flex card option, and this you have to be a UOttawa student to be able to use this option. And there's the credit and debit card option, so I'm going to use this option to do the payment. I'm going to add the information. Once I'm done inputting my info, I can place the order by clicking this button. I'm brought to the order confirmation page with my order status. So we'll just see order received, move to order in progress, as you can see here. When the order is completed, the UI displays that it is ready to be picked up. So there's the summary of the amount I paid, and I can return to the home page and place another order if I want to.
The product idea came to life when we heard from many students complaining about having to prepare lunch every day before coming to class, and how waiting times at food outlets on campus are always long, especially at CRX Tim Hortons. Naturally, students skip meals and go to class hungry. Many students are too stressed out and too busy to have time to make food for themselves. This means that students live an unhealthy lifestyle, which leads to poor mental health, lowered academic performance, and overall just reduces a student's enjoyment of their program and UOttawa itself. The uOBites web app allows students, faculty members, and anyone wishing to purchase food from UOttawa campus food outlets to do it with ease. The app tells the user important and concise information on what outlets exist on campus, where they are, their hours of operation, as well as their menu. Just by knowing this information, the user has already saved a great deal of time. Moreover, rather than having to walk across campus to order food and then wait in line in the summer heat or the frigid cold winter, users can order food from their laptops or phones from anywhere. They will be given a status on their order, and when the order is done, they'll be notified to come and pick up their food. This drastically reduces the wait lines and saves everyone's time, thereby conforming with the original problem statement. Let's run some automated end-to-end test scripts using the Cypress framework. First, we navigate to the front-end folder in the project, and then we run the command npx cypress open, which opens the Cypress GUI where we can select end-to-end testing or component testing. Here we'll select end-to-end testing. Here we can select a browser on which we want to run our automated test. And as you can see, it opens Google Chrome as we've specified in the previous step. Here we can see that there's an authentication test suite. So we'll click on it to execute it. This test suite, as you can see, it covers all of the test scenarios related to authentication, such as logging in, registering a new user, or when a user forgets their password. And this includes edge cases and negative testing. On the left panel here, you can see which test is being executed, which test case. On the right, you can see what's happening live on the UI. So we'll just wait for it to finish executing here. And that's it. The test's execution has completed. You can see the full report on the left panel here. You can click on the individual test cases to expand them and see the full details on the test. We can see in the report here that all of our test cases have passed successfully. Let's deploy the application using a tool called ngrok. ngrok lets us use our own computer as a server rather than having to pay for a cloud provider to host the app. We can start by going to the terminal and executing this command. ngrok will then generate a URL for our application. We can navigate to that URL, and we can see that the app has been successfully deployed. We can log in with valid credentials to test, and we can see that the backend works as well. We can confirm this by going to the terminal and viewing the HTTP requests. The following is a demonstration of the uOBites application code. In the root of the project, we have a README, which provides detailed documentation for developers to install and set up the project locally. The ngrok file is an executable file that allows the developer to deploy the application. We divide the source code into two main parts, the backend and the front end. We'll start with the backend. We have the server.py file, which stores the Flask endpoints, the requirements.txt file, which stores all of the backend dependencies, and the venv folder, which is the virtual environment for Python. This varies from machine to machine, which is why it's grayed out and ignored by Git version control. We also have a folder for the database transactions. We have createdb.sql, which stores the SQL commands to create the database schema in Postgres, the populateDB.sql file, which populates the database with basic information, the db.py file, which stores all of the scripts to execute the SQL commands in the previous two files, and lastly, the config.py file, which I won't show, is where we store the password to the developer's local Postgres database. It's stored in a separate file and is ignored by Git version control because we do not want to push our passwords onto a public repository for everyone to see. That concludes our backend. Moving on to the front end, this is where all of our React TypeScript files are stored, including the automated end-to-end testing suite. The package JSON file simply stores the front end's dependencies. The source folder stores all of our source code for the front end, including style sheets, components, pages, JSON data, and images. Lastly, the Cypress folder stores the code for our automated end-to-end testing suite. That concludes the code demonstration.